our show. Today we are going to talk about David Cronenberg's controversial masterpiece, Videodrome. My guest today is Dr. Concave, who is joining us via satellite transmission directly from Pittsburgh. How are you, Doctor?
I'm fine. It's nice to be on the show today.
Just let us start our program with a look on the story of this movie. Videodrome starts with the character of Max Wren, played by James Woods, who is running a rather shabby little TV station called Civic TV, which has its program focused on adult entertainment, containing mainly sex and violence. To strengthen their position on the market, Max Wren sets out to find more controversial programs, something that will assure him a wider audience.
May I interrupt at this point, please?
Of course, go ahead.
The question here is, why does he believe that he needs more controversial material instead of trying to find more pleasant and intriguing material for his audience to consume?
It always was the more controversial and disturbing material that was and is of higher interest for the majority of viewers. Of course, most of them deny it, but where do you think to come these high ratings for such programs now?
You got a point there. It's true that we all have a side in us that has a craving material that, well, pleases our lower instincts.
And that is the point. And it's these cravings that brings the character of Max Wren deeper into the reality-altering world of Videodrome. During his search for depravity, he starts a love affair with Nikki Brand, played by Deborah Harry. With her, he soon starts to not only looking for twisted material, he also starts to live out his own bizarre fantasies that she has awakened within him.
So, she does work as a catalyst for his own depravity to emerge? Could we delve a little deeper into this subject matter? It is about sadomasochist behavior and torture, if I'm not informed.
Yes, it is.
So what is it about torture that intrigues such a wide audience?
Violence has always been an important factor within the human species throughout the centuries. Torture is a way of expressing power over another person.
But where do you think this will go?
The Romans used torture to please the masses. Movies just took this subject matter and actually made it much safer by only pretending.
So you actually believe that torture in movies is safe?
On a certain level it is. It's still the audience's responsibility not to make any wrong idea out of the show material.
So you say it's up to the audience to see the lines between fiction and reality. That might be difficult. Don't you agree?
That is right. It's always up to the audience. So please, at this point, let me explain the story of the movie a little further. Max now not only wants to create a market for Videodrome, but he also is interested in researching the origins of Videodrome, and due to this he makes contact with Dr. Oblivion and his daughter, who try to show him the dark effects Videodrome already has caused on him and eventually will cause in the world.
So when there's someone trying to keep him away from Videodrome, then I can assume that there are other characters that do want him to spread Videodrome among the public. Am I right?
Yes, you are. There is a scientist who is working for a company called Spectacular Optical. To the general public, it appears that they only into producing eyeglasses. Convex is trying to lure Max Wren much deeper into his shady business of mind-altering perception. Already too deeply involved, Max soon loses his own perception of reality and becomes tougher for him every day to differentiate hallucination from reality.
Please, please. Now this sounds all very interesting, but you are missing the fact that this movie uses disturbing images of torture, violence, and sexual depravity to tell its story.
The movie makes use of these themes to make its point clear.
What do you think? is the point of this movie? And why does it really need to show these things in such cruel detail? It seems to me that this movie is as exploitative as its subject matter.
That is true, and also not true. How can you show controversy without being controversial?
Mayday. Mayday. Anyone hear me? Over. This is US Station 31. You read me? Found something in the ice. We need some help down here. Can anybody hear me? We found something. We found something. We found something.
12 men have just discovered something. For 100,000 years, it was buried in the snow and ice. Now it has found a place to live, inside, where no one can see it, or hear it, or feel it.
I know I'm human. Some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
You guys gonna listen to Gary? He can be